I'm not sure, like, I mean, just in Dandum, I'm not sure I'm going to upload it even, just, I mean, in like one, so, I mean, some people maybe asked, I'm interested in what's the difference between, like, what different kind of like species, or like, because, there are all sorts of like species, like, and from my perspective, even among Homo sapiens, there are quite a bit of, subspecies, the Shabakniks, the Shabaknicus pedophilos, the Mossadnik Rotzach Sachiros, they're, from my perspective, there are also life forms, even within the, what you call the Homo sapiens, like, species, that's like, it's like a zoo here, it's like a prehistoric zoo, there are all sorts of dinosaurs, Triceratops, Triceratops this, Brontosaurus פה, there are, there is like, the simps, the castrated, the castrati, the what's the name, the unsullied, like, how to do it, like the sullied, like, the castrated warriors, from Game of Thrones. It's also common in Israel, especially among the elite, Sayarot. So, there are all sorts of humans, even just, in Israel, so, just, Homo sapienses, so, but if the question, is simply what's the difference between the creatures that I call titans and Homo sapienses, then I've discussed it a lot in the past, that, in the natural state of, first of all, they share origin. Second, the major, the major change that, it could, throughout the many millennia is that humans lost their teeth, and they don't. But even that, is not in itself always easy. Like, this fact, is not always sufficient in order to discriminate between the two, because humans take the tea from the titan bodies many times, and also many humans eat the tea, and they become what I call hybrids, and this is extremely common all over the world, but certainly in Israel. So the fact that at the current state of time, the tea is naturally found in the titan body, but not in the human body, is not enough to discriminate between the two, because it might be titan, that everything was taken from him, and it might be human that ate tremendous amount of it. And it's actually, it's not like, bizarre, and we discuss, people that relate to the intelligence communities, and such people, will be many times those that, even such a test would be, that would be subjected to such a test between the two, and specifically in these kind of communities, you might find this kind of like occurrence, like, it might sound bizarre, like a titan that, everything was taken from him, or a human that is filled with it, and it is bizarre, but it's not bizarre within the context of intelligence communities, and certainly inside the Israeli intelligence. So, in itself, it might not be like, the T in itself is not like a good way to discriminate if a person is a titan or Homo sapiens, even though it's probably a good way to discriminate if a person is a cherub or not. And there is only one on Earth right now, which is me, because I have tremendously more than titans and Homo sapiens. And they cannot, Homo sapiens cannot consume like even remotely enough, like, to be, to be mistaken for cherubs. And this is like, can be identified by almost any kind of, like, biological examination. So it's actually very easy to know if a person is a cherub. And there is only one, which is me. Sorry, I forgot my daughters, but I don't know how much teeth they have in their body. They are very young, and I never took like any examination. They were never part of, like, part of, of any kind of, like, biology, like microscopic study of any sort. So, and also, I assume they have tremendously less than I am, because they are tremendously younger. They are, so, anyway, it should be said that it's not the only difference. Now, another thing that should be said very shortly is that there are two questions at hand. First question is, how do you say that this person is a titan or not, or Homo sapiens? And the second question is how to discriminate between an Homo sapiens and the Titan clone of that Homo sapiens. It's not exactly the same question, because Titans can be clones of Homo sapienses. Now it should be said that Homo sapienses can also be clones of Homo sapienses. So it's like two, I would say different, like ways of investigations. Like one is to say what's the nature of this individual, and the other is, can we identify, although a Titan can be clone of another Titan. So the other question is to say, can we say, is this the person that we think that he is? Like, presumably you already know a person, and you want to know, is this the guy? Like, this authentication, method. So this was discussed in the past a lot. I just say, in so many videos, just find the old videos, but I will say very briefly that in general, fingerprints is not enough as an authentication method. And as an authentication method, the best way is using iris and cornea tests, and it actually works the best if you already have a verified, authentic, iris and cornea results of a specific individual, and then you can compare it to like the person that is in front of you to say, is this the guy or not? And this is incredibly accurate way, both for Titans and for Homo sapienses. The problem is that many times people do not take, cornea, and in the police they use fingerprints. Fingerprints is not enough. There are a way to alter the fingerprints, both of Homo sapiens and for Titans. Just so you know it. It's not enough. And it's not common to take cornea and iris test, but it's recommended to do it. For high-ranking officials, in the government or intelligence services, things like that. Now another thing that should be said, that cornea and iris tests can also be a very good method to differentiate between a Titans and a human being. Even not for the authentication purpose, but to say, is that a Titan or an Homo sapiens? Because they do not age the same. And both iris and cornea tests independently and combined, when it's combined, it's much better accuracy, can predict the age of an Homo sapiens. And not predict, give a good approximation of an Homo sapiens. And almost, and many doctors can know how to do it. It's not like, arcane knowledge. It's but you need to go to an eye doctor. Eye doctors know how to do it. Maybe there is even an algorithm, like an algorithmical way to do it. I don't know. Perhaps, there is like an app that, an algorithm that can just, visually, from the vision algorithm that can, using morphology and things like that, and then, segmentation, all those, the usual stuff, and can predict the age, can not predict, approximate the age of the specimen using, it can be done using both iris, cornea, and best when it's combined. And I do not know of a way to do it to Titans, but I do know for certain that, if you use such an approximation, like if you take the human algorithm and then you insert like a Titan input, you will get a completely different result. Not just, from like the real thing, but also from what's in front of you. Usually you will get something, almost always you will get something like above 20. Like, and I don't know if I don't know if people have this kind of knowledge, like, not just the algorithm, but, even knowledge, even if it's not ever, codified, like, as an algorithm, but I don't know if people ever have had any trouble, to actually, adjust such a test for Titans. So, mostly, if you just, take the human test and, you feed it with Titan input, you just get something like, yes, 20. Something like that. And in front of you, you will see a person that doesn't look 20, and you will ask for, ID, a formal document. You will, you can get, so you can see, a person of any age. Now we can ask, so what about if the Titan is really 20 and the ID says that he's 20? So, I mean, it's a problem. It's not a perfect test. I mean, if it's about 20, like if it's between 15 and 25, I mean, yes, it's not the best. This segment in the population of the Titans between 15 and 25, it's actually going to be difficult, I mean, to say that the Titans using this test, because it will be about right. But for others, it will not be correct. Now, Titans, I should say the Titans also have different visions than humans. They are some kind of like colorblind. Not exactly. And even the term colorblind is misleading, because humans that are called colorblind, mostly they are not monochromatic, like they don't see black and white. Sometimes they only, like a slight problem to differentiate between specific two colors. But this is a wide range of, of vision phenomenon. I mean, it's difficult to generalize, like in a certain, on רגל אחת, איך שאומרים. So, I mean, it's a huge issue, and I've discussed it in the past. If it's important, I can speak about it some more, or just replay old videos. I would just say that I am strictly against mythologies, like creating of new mythology. I like mythology, but I mean, I don't think that we should create new ones. We should use the old ones. What I mean is, one of the problems in Israel is that, every piece of shit have all sorts of, like like homebrews, tests how to know if a person is Titan or not, using presumably behavioral, tests. Like to do something and to see if it, like of a person in front of him reacting in a certain way. So don't do it. This is witch hunt. It's stupid. For so many ways. It's absolutely. This is ridiculous. Only use a test that, first of all, only as a professional should run the test, not every piece of shit. And anybody for a pedophile zombie in the street or a prostitute from the Shabak should run the test. Don't be Israelis. And use tests only, by professional people, and only in formal circumstances that, there is a clear procedure of what to do if, the person is like, fails the test or success. However you define failures. Because the Israelis, they don't really know what to do with the result. So, after the result, something happens, so they need to think what do we do with this. So, maybe, the test failed, so maybe the person is not a Titan, but you really want him to be a Titan because you want to abuse him or her. So you think, so maybe the test failed because they didn't conduct it the correct way. So maybe we need another test. So then they run another test. Witch hunt. TLDR witch hunt. Don't do witch hunt. It's not recommended to do witch hunt. In Israel, it's incredibly common, but just don't do that. Don't be Israeli. This is very, very stupid and unethical and ridiculous. So any test that you have should be done by professional, and not just by professional, which means that they're professional, but even more importantly, by a people of formal capacity. That he was assigned to be a person that runs such test by the state, by the sovereign entity. It's not enough that this will be their profession, it should also be their job in other ways. And they should do their job in formal, not, and even these people should not run this test, while they're walking, in the street, or just while they're, in a vacation with their family. No, it should be done under, the formal capacity when, this is your job, and when there is a procedure of, like, what to do with the results, and the position is not created along the way. Don't be Israelis. TLDR, don't do witch hunt. This is very stupid. Just to say that, probably you could devise a test. I've never done it because, it wasn't that interesting, but probably you could devise a pretty good test, but not very accurate, that differentiate between such people that will be completely uninvasive, because cornea and iris test, presumably it's invasive test, even though perhaps not. It's questionable. It's like in the border of technology. Presumably maybe you can even use cellular phones if they have a tremendously good camera in order to run such tests, but this is objectionable. I don't know. It's a question. It's a technological question. It's such a thing. Is non-invasive cornea and iris tests, are they possible? It's a question. I don't know. But maybe you can differentiate between two individuals, like Titans or Z, because using like color perception. But this is problematic because first of all, it should be you hear the zombies. First of all, it should be I would say articulated, or I mean formulated, because it's not just black and white. I mean it's something they have different spectrum because they are from another planet and they have thick atmospheres and very long nights, so it's different. But I mean, in any case, first of all, it should be formulated, and second, it might not always be applicable because because this varies among humans as well. Because humans they also have a phenomenon that I mean we can, in the layman term, categorize under the very layman term color blindness. Again, it's a huge range of phenomena, and so that might not be easy, but it's the only kind of thing that is behavioral. I mean, non-intrusive that I can think of to differentiate between the two. But again, first it should be formulated like by professionals, and second, it would probably never be 100% accurate because of the fact that I mean humans also vary. I mean, but perhaps I mean experts on the field of color blindness in humans can actually devise a test that that will positively conclude that the person is Titan or not. I mean, because there might be some kind of a vision phenomena that cannot be found, like some kind of color blindness that is known not to be found in humans at all, but characterize Titans. It's possible, but this is it's a professional question, like for people that's their job, that color blindness is the profession. They should devise such a thing if it's possible at all. Anyway, don't do witch hunt. I mean, it's really stupid. I mean, just don't do it. It's not only immoral. It's very, very stupid.